pivot. And you do, because that first sellout, we said, great, let's 10x.
And go, oh my gosh, she has loved us so much.
Are true, and you're able to show up in the space really organically and authentically.
So, get this, Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, that Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting behind prison walls right now, and instead of talking about appeals, lawyers, or prison meals, she's dropping names. Big names. And the one that sent everyone's jaw to the floor? Meghan Markle, the Duchess turned podcaster turned jam brand queen. Apparently, Maxwell didn't just mention her, she pointed directly at her and said there's a document out there. Not just any file or CV, but this isn't the kind of resume you'd send to Hollywood studios. No. This one allegedly reveals a completely different side of Meghan's life, the kind that never made it into Suits, and certainly not into her carefully polished interviews. The whispers say this document hints at Meghan playing the adult game. It's vague enough to stay legal, but specific enough to make the whole world's jaw drop. And listen, this isn't coming from some random gossip blogger trying to go viral. This is Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman who lived inside Jeffrey Epstein's inner world. So, when she names someone even from behind bars, people listen. Before we even dig into what's supposedly inside this mysterious CV and why Meghan's been eerily silent, hit that mental subscribe button because trust me, this goes from scandal to shocking in no time.
So how does it all look? Is my hair good?
The States, you don't grow up with this.
So what's actually supposed to be in this so-called document? According to the whispers online, it paints Meghan's pre-royal life in a light no one's ever seen before. Forget the picture-perfect humanitarian chasing acting dreams. This version of Meghan was allegedly the high-end socialite, sailing through some of the murkiest waters imaginable. We're talking about the kind of elite circles where people don't ask how you got invited, they just know you're there for a reason. And according to what Maxwell's hinting, Meghan wasn't just a guest at those parties, she belonged there. She understood the game, the people, the hierarchy. She knew how things worked in that secretive, powerful, closed-door world. And let's be honest, in Epstein's world, networking didn't mean exchanging business cards at charity galas. It meant power, access, arrangements. It was a game for insiders, and Maxwell allegedly said Meghan knew exactly how it was played. She knew the players, the rules, and what those circles were truly about. In Maxwell's own words, Meghan wasn't someone who accidentally wandered into the wrong room.
Confirm Maxwell is telling the truth, right? She is a convicted sex trafficker who was sentenced.
She knew where she was. She knew who she was around. And that's where things start to sting, because for years we've been fed this fairy tale image. Meghan, the struggling actress with a heart of gold, the woman who just wanted to make the world better. The humanitarian, the feminist, the champion of women's empowerment, that's the picture we were sold when she met Harry. But if there's even a shred of truth in Maxwell's words, it means there's a whole chapter missing, a darker chapter, a version of Meghan that doesn't fit the glossy magazine covers or the Netflix documentaries. See, Maxwell isn't just another name throwing shade for attention. She was there. She was in those rooms. She was the one opening the doors, making introductions, and holding the keys to the kingdom and the secrets within it. For years, she was the gatekeeper. So when she points her finger at someone, the world doesn't laugh it off. They lean in. Because she isn't speculating, she's remembering. She's not guessing where the fire was. She's the one who held the matches.
Always at the heart of all of this. This woman is a terrible thing, and she's known Meghan Markle for quite some time.
For years, Maxwell knew everything who entered, who left, who the powerful protected. So when she drops Meghan's name, people don't dismiss it as clickbait. They take it seriously. Because for once, it's not internet detectives piecing random clues together. It's a woman from inside that world naming names. Of course, Meghan's defenders rushed to her aid, calling the claims slander, desperation, a pathetic stunt by a disgraced woman. And sure, Ghislaine Maxwell's credibility practically in ashes. She's behind bars, hated worldwide, her life in ruins, so why should anyone believe her? But then again, what's she got to gain? Nothing, absolutely nothing.
And yesterday, giving us more disturbing details as to how Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein recruited the girls and what they were asked to do.
She's not getting out early. She's not winning favors. She's got nothing left to lose. So if she's naming Meghan now, it raises one question. Why? Why drag Meghan into this mess unless there's truth buried somewhere in it? It's not like she's gaining sympathy points. She's already one of the most despised women alive. So either she's doing it out of pure chaos, or because she's finally speaking without filters, without protection, without caring what comes next. And here's where the plot thickens, because Maxwell's claims don't exist in a vacuum. Long before her name ever left Maxwell's, her lips, there were already whispers connecting Meghan to a very familiar royal figure, Prince Andrew. And not as some random acquaintance. No, the exact term people used back then? Close companion. Yeah, close companion.
So with that said, this is what we're talking about now around.
That doesn't sound like a casual meet and greet at a royal fundraiser. That sounds like familiarity. That sounds like someone who spent real time behind closed doors, seeing things the public never did. And when you pair that with Prince Andrew's known associations during that time, let's just say the picture gets a whole lot murkier. Reports even claimed Meghan knew Virginia Giuffre personally, not from the tabloids, but in real life, meaning she wasn't hearing rumors, she was there. She saw what happened, heard the conversations, and knew exactly what was going on in those exclusive circles. And yet, when asked about it later, total silence. Which brings us to one of the eeriest lines connected to Meghan during those whispers, people. Said she could be expected to tell the truth.
Satisfy Epstein's insatiable appetite. And Kate testified that she never recruited any other girls for Maxwell and Epstein.
Could be expected, that's not the same as trusted. It's a cautious phrase, like people were hoping she'd be honest but weren't entirely sure she would. Because here's the truth, Meghan and honesty have a complicated history. Remember the Finding Freedom fiasco? That book that was supposedly written without her input? She swore she had nothing to do with it. Said she never helped the authors. Swore she didn't feed them info. And everyone believed her because, well, she said it with that confident, heartfelt sincerity she's famous for. Then, boom. Evidence surfaced showing she did help shape the book. Emails, communications, all of it. She was feeding information behind the scenes, molding the narrative, directing how her story would be told. She wasn't just an innocent bystander, she was the ghost author of her own redemption story.
In the dark, behind the walls, but those prison walls cannot stop her from talking.
And the kicker? It wasn't some tiny mistake or miscommunication. It was the whole premise. She looked the public in the eye and denied something she was fully part of. So when Ghislaine Maxwell's claims now surface, people aren't shocked. They're just saying, well, she's lied before. And that's the danger. Once credibility cracks, everything you say after that gets filtered through suspicion. The close companion label isn't just gossip anymore. It's rooted in people who were there. People claiming Meghan wasn't some stranger in the background. She was close to Andrew during the years everything with Epstein was boiling over. The same years Andrew was being photographed with people he shouldn't have been around. The same years he was flying on planes to private properties. And apparently Meghan was right there in the mix.
Andrew and the businessman and convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. We know Prince Andrew got...
Think about that timing. Just as the Epstein files were about to be released, the ones everyone wanted to see, the ones said to contain every name, every dark secret, suddenly everything got locked away. The official line? Protecting victims' privacy. Fair enough, but if there was really nothing shocking inside, why seal it up tighter than Fort Knox? If it's harmless, show it. Let people see. Because here's the thing about secrecy, it breeds suspicion. Tell people there's nothing to see, then block their view? Congratulations, now they think there's something explosive hidden. And it wasn't just internet theorists raising eyebrows. There were actual warnings sent to Prince Andrew before the lockdown. People in the know told him to brace himself. And when someone like that gets told to brace, you know it's not about minor paperwork, it's about something that could destroy reputations. And journalists were already sniffing around writing prepare for impact headlines before the files vanished because sources had seen what was inside. And the timing? Chillin'. So, back to those brace yourself warnings, because they weren't casual gossip, they were serious. People inside the system, people who had seen the contents, were warning Prince Andrew that something big was about to explode. And if those people were sounding the alarm, imagine what else might have been in those files. Names, photos, flight lists, connections, the kind of things that end careers. Now here's the wild part. Right as the world's demanding answers, what's Meghan doing? Absolutely nothing. No statement, no denial, not even one of her famous My Truth interviews. Just pure, calculated silence. Instead, we get glossy Instagram posts about her latest lifestyle rebrand, American Riviera Orchard, now conveniently renamed as Ever. Candles, jams, and motivational captions about living authentically, except authenticity is exactly what's being questioned. A secret that could not only ruin her, but make him look like a fool. Because every Netflix special, every memoir, every interview becomes a lie built on omission. And now, as these whispers grow louder, Harry's trapped. If he defends her again, people will say he's blind. If he stays silent, they'll say he knows. Either way, he loses. Meanwhile, Ghislaine Maxwell's sitting in prison, holding the world's attention like it's her final performance. She's naming names, hinting at documents, and allegedly, Meghan's right there on the list. This isn't coming from internet sleuths connecting dots, it's from the woman who owned the map. And the evidence trail doesn't stop there. There's that mysterious CV, those close companion descriptions, and those files that vanished right when they could have exposed everything. Each thread leads to the same tangled web, and somehow, Meghan's name keeps popping up. It's like the universe refuses to let this chapter stay buried. And through all of it, silence. Total, calculated silence. No statement, no denial. Just a stream of lifestyle branding. Candles, flowers, curated photos while the world's screaming for answers. It's not just suspicious, it's haunting. Because if these claims were false, the Meghan we know would have fired back instantly. She'd have released a statement, done an interview, sued someone, anything. That's her pattern. So when she says nothing, that's not peace. That's panic. The woman who built her empire on speaking her truth is suddenly mute, and that silence speaks louder than any denial ever could. So let's recap this chaos. Maxwell behind bars names Meghan. There's a supposed CV floating around showing a different side of her life. Multiple people claim she was close to Prince Andrew and even personally knew Virginia Giuffre. The Epstein files that could prove everything? Sealed. And Meghan's only public response? New candle photos? Tell me that doesn't sound suspicious. Because every time a new piece drops, the pattern gets clearer. And here's the real kicker. Meghan's silence isn't neutral. Every day she doesn't speak, people fill in the blanks for her, and trust me, they're not painting a flattering picture. They're connecting the dots, revisiting old interviews, comparing timelines. They're realizing the woman who preaches transparency might have built her empire on half-truths. And here's the thing about secrets: they never stay buried. Someone always talks, someone always leaks, someone always decides the truth is worth more than loyalty. And when that day comes, when those files finally open or that document leaks, it's not just Meghan who'll take the hit. It's the entire brand, the authenticity, the empowerment narrative, the fairy tale. All of it could collapse in seconds. Because if even a single piece of Maxwell's story holds up, it won't just ruin Meghan's image, it'll rewrite the entire royal exit saga. Harry won't look like a hero anymore. He'll look like the man who sacrificed everything for a woman who wasn't who she claimed to be. And maybe, deep down, that's what Meghan's really afraid of. Not prison, not headlines, just exposure. Because once the mask slips, there's no putting it back on. So, what do you think? Did Meghan really know what was happening in those elite circles and choose to stay anyway? Or was she just young and naive, pulled into something darker than she realized? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story isn't over. Not even close. If anything, it's just getting started.